Hi everyone, this is Torin here from Demon FM, and I am here with the wonderful Molly Burman. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me. Hello.
Hello, how's your day been so far?
I'm not gonna lie, my day has just started. I very recently woke up. But hopefully it'll be a good day. How's your day been?
I mean, well, we were in quite similar boats because I had lectures from 9 that I slept through, so
Oh, oh,
yeah,
right.
similar positions. But anyway, I just want to
Yeah.
chat to you a bit about the music you've been putting out and you as an artist, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. So, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask first about something that kind of came up recently because we had an interview with Jamie McCall from Bombay Bicycle Club,
Oh,
and
cool.
he was speaking about how his parents were both folk musicians, his grandparents, and I think he's the nephew of Kirsty McCall even. So there's kind of
Oh,
musical influences running through his whole family, and I find artists who kind of have these musical backgrounds really interesting because I think sometimes in Jamie's case, for example, he pushed against his family's musical heritage at first. So I was kind of wondering
oh, okay.
that I've read about how your parents have a history of kind of playing music and being involved with the music industry and stuff. So
Yeah.
how has that kind of affected your relationship with music and where you are now?
I think it's been really good because they're both teachers now. But back in when they were younger, Um, my dad was like a bassist in some post-punk bands. My mum was a singer in like this comedy a cappella group. And then also like my granddad is a jazz musician, and so I think it influenced me in a really good way because I was just always surrounded by music, I guess. And then it didn't feel like I never wanted to push away from it because it's not like kind of what they're doing now, if that makes sense. It was like um I was still able to kind of find it all by myself and make all these connections by myself and stuff, but I just had that support of them because they love music and they really like they're just super supportive over it and encourage me to do it, I guess, which is really good.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I've also that's cool that your parents are teachers. I didn't know that because both my parents are teachers. My dad
Oh
still
no
is,
way.
and my mum I think stopped a while ago. But yeah, I say I think I don't know what I just said. I think.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
it's
I'm pretty confident about that. Anyway, so one of your major landmarks so far in your career is that last year you played at Community Festival.
yeah.
So it's a place with a special place in my heart because it was the first festival I went to with my friends back in 2019.
Oh
I
no
mean,
way.
literally, like I'm sitting in my room and I've got the kind of wall or like photo wall or pinboard in front of me, and literally right as I look up is a photo of me at Community Festival with my friends there.
Oh, cool.
So I was kind of wondering, is what was that experience like for you as a performer? And also, is there a kind of another festival or maybe a specific venue that holds a really special place in your heart as well?
I loved Community. That was like um yeah, probably one of the best gigs I've ever done. It just felt proper, like it was just a great experience. Um, all my friends came as well. I managed to get so many people in on guest lists, and like they were all there. It was also the first time I had like, I guess, a fan experience of like these girls coming up, like being like, "Oh my god, can we have your set list? Can we have your set list?" And I was so confused, like, are they taking the piss? Like, I didn't know, but it was like, yeah, it was just super magical. Um, and also like I'm from around Finsbury Park, so afterwards we went to like the local pub where I'm a regular at, and it was just really nice, like because some of the staff from there had come to watch me as well. It was, yeah, it was just such a good experience. Um, and the other one was the venues. Let me think. I mean, to be fair, I feel like I love all right, let me think about this. So it was any venues or festivals kind of thing that holds a special
Yeah,
place in my heart.
yeah, just like any. So
Hmm.
it could be somewhere you performed or somewhere you've just been and seen someone.
Oh, I think Green Man Festival. I haven't performed. I really would love to perform there. Um, Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But it was just like, oh, sorry, my Be Real notification went off. Um, but no, it was just like the most magic festival. It was in Wales, and I basically didn't know anyone who was going to be performing, but I just became a fan of like so many people there. Do you know when like you go to a festival, you
Yeah.
don't know the lineup, but you watch and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Um, and it's just like the most beautiful festival. So yeah, Green Man, that one is so cool.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check out. I've never heard of Green Man, but
It's you'd love it. It's so good.
okay, I think I'll have to check it out. Next question. So a few days ago, Spotify Wrapped was released. And, everyone's
Yeah.
kind of showing their, who they're most listening to, and you're seeing some surprises of your friends and stuff, and it's all that fun experience. So I was wondering,
Hmm.
with you, is there a kind of artist or a song who's on your regular rotation who is really kind of like the furthest thing from the music you make yourself?
Ooh. Okay, there definitely is. I mean, I'm super into like kind of folk music is what I listen
Ah,
to a
okay, yeah.
lot. So my top artist actually was um this woman called Sunny War. She's just like some Nashville singer, and I love her. She's amazing. Yeah, she ended up my top artist. But I guess she could be kind of similar, like it's not that different. Um, then who else? Let me think. Who was on my not gonna lie, I was on my own Spotify Wrapped, like as my second top artist. It's really embarrassing. So I
It's
didn't post it. So
understandable.
that's embarrassing. um, who else was in there? I'd say the other actor, like I guess I could be kind of similar to them, I think. But yeah, Sunny War, she's sick.
Sunny War. Okay, sounds good. I mean, you were mentioning how you were quite high on your own Spotify Wrapped. I imagine a lot of that was through the EP that came out this year, Worlds Within Worlds. Would I be?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be correct in saying that. Yeah.
yeah.
So I just want to chat about that EP for a bit because I'm personally a massive fan. So
Oh,
my
thank you.
introduction to your music as a whole was through the song Friday Pretty.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I was listening through it as a kind of long playlist of songs that I'd never heard before, but the song just really caught my ear very quickly. With I think it was mainly the lyrical style and the songwriting that you had. So I just thought it a pop song. It was
Oh,
so interesting, like to kind of hear your perspective and kind of giving this guy like the trashy, he's being a trashy person, he's odd behaviour, saying some questionable stuff, but he's Friday Pretty, like
yeah.
he's not Monday Witty, but he is Friday Pretty, like. So I think that songwriting style is so distinct and really grabbed my attention. I was kind of playing it out in the flat, it grabbed my flatmate's attention. Now he's a fan too. Um,
Oh, no way.
yeah, so I was just kind of wondering, what are the kind of key inspirations for your kind of style of songwriting? They can be musical or non-musical.
I think literally, like, I always find it hard with the inspirations. I think I subconsciously like take in um inspiration from different music, but I can't like name it.
Yeah,
But mainly it is just real life, I would say. Like with Friday Pretty, I wrote that in a session like the day after the night where this had all happened, like the actual story. And I turned up to the session, I was absolutely hanging. I had a water bottle filled with Barocca because I was just like I was struggling. And then I just sit down with it was my first session with these two guys, they're legends, Jason and Ian. And I was like, yeah, sorry guys, I had a bit of a weird night last night. Told them the story, and we were like, oh, let's write about it. So I think that is kind of because my songs are just quite conversational. Like I think I just kind of say what happens, how I feel about it. So my biggest inspiration is probably just the silly things that I do in real life.
fair enough. I mean, like, yeah, kind of inspiration. That's why I kind of wanted to branch out from just musical because I feel like,
Yeah,
you can just say an artist, but for lots of people, it will be just their experiences that are,
for
challenging the
sure.
music they make. And you mentioned it there briefly, but on this album, I've seen that you've been working with some new producers. But it feels
Yeah.
like there's been it's still a kind of real consistency in sound where you've got a lot of this, like really nice and warm like live instrumentation that you hear as the backing to your
Yeah.
singing. I was just wondering, with that kind of side of the basic, I guess, production process of music, is that a bit you kind of like to get really hands on with the production side, or is there kind of just you set out a vision and you kind of trust basically your collaborators to achieve what you're hoping for?
I think it depends. So if it's like a song, the other ones were produced like with my dad. And so with him, like he knows the sound so well. So like I'll play him the song, we do some recording sessions, we like both play in like a so many guitar riffs and all this stuff. And then I kind of, I really trust him to go and he kind of gets the exact sound. We've been doing it for since I was like 7. So he knows what he's doing. But then yeah, with the new producers, it's kind of been we've done it all in the session together. So I think Friday Pretty was done in I think it was literally done in one session actually.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I think it was, or two. Or we kind of finished it in another one, but then wrote another song. So I think yeah, 1 or 2 sessions. I'm not sure. Um, and yeah, we just kind of produced it all then and there. And I think after, Ian would have like made some tweaks to it and stuff. But yeah, I am always quite adamant on a live kind of sound, like lots of guitars and yeah, I just want it to sound. I guess I would describe it as like yeah, warm, I guess, like you said. Just a warm, kind of cheerful sound.
Yeah, it kind of makes you feel like you're in the room or almost when you're hearing it. Like, you know,
Oh, great, I'm glad.
yeah, that's how I feel about the music. Yeah.
Yes, it
Um,
worked.
so I just want to ask one more question about the EP, and specifically about the final song, "Lighter Heart."
Yeah,
I thought the way you ended that song and to use that with the sequencing of ending the whole EP with a kind of like spoken word segment almost was
yeah,
really interesting because I feel like your songwriting is consistently, honest and open and vulnerable, but it felt like to kind of change from, singing to speech felt like it was almost like another layer kind of being shown, like of honesty and stuff. So,
yeah.
how did the choice to kind of take a risk and do a spoken word segment come to be, and what were you hoping for the listener to kind of get out of it?
So I think that song was recorded in lockdown. I literally just didn't have much to write about, so I wrote about absolutely nothing, quite literally. Um, and yeah, the outro, I think we'd done like a that kind of the instrumental solo, and we were thinking like just kind of missing something, like it needs some sort of thing. And I've always kind of in college, like I liked a little bit of spoken word, and a lot of my songs come from me just writing like these streams of consciousness anyway. Um, and yeah, I just kind of, and a lot of the new music that I've been making as well, like they're a bit more talky. Um, and I've done some more kind of segments like that as well. So I think yeah, we were just saying, oh, it needs something more, and then I just those words just kind of came out. I don't know, just like started writing them on my notes. And my dad was like, "Oh, I'll give you some time to write it." But then I was like, "Oh no, this is all right. We'll just do it." I did it, and then we're like, "Yeah, oh, sounds quite good." So I left it.
All right, yeah, I mean, it worked very well. So, I mean, as a
Thank you.
listener, I'm glad you made the choice because, yeah, really engaging way to end the EP.
Oh,
So
I'm glad.
just one extra thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that you're part of the movement Loud London. I
Yeah.
just want to ask, how did your involvement in the group come to be?
So when it started, I think it was like so it was Maisie and Kat, Coop de Cat, who made it, and they both added, I think, like 4 people, something like that. They added 4 people to this group chat, people who they knew, and then those 4 people added one person. So I got added then, like right at the beginning. And I think it was all just kind of everyone had discovered each other, like through TikTok or just yeah through hearing each other's music somewhere on the algorithm basically. um and then yeah, so I've been in it really from early days before it was kind of about before we like ever considered we would throw events or anything like that really. um back then it was just we would go to the pub and like bitch about the music industry basically. um and just became really really good friends with them, so yeah, they are some of my closest friends, so it's just like a really lovely thing.
I mean, that's an awesome thing. Yeah. I was wondering, out of the kind of as the group's grown and kind of seen more artists come in with kind of different, from different genres, and it's kind of just expanded more and more. Is there
Yeah.
anyone who you're kind of hearing in the group who's maybe like really kind of has kind of given influence to a certain bit of your music, or is just someone that you'd really want to work with if you could kind of work with anyone?
I'm glad that was the question. I thought you were about to say, is there anyone whose music you don't like?
No,
What the hell? That's
imagine that's
crazy.
brutal.
What the hell? Um, Let me think. I mean, I guess my everyone makes quite different music. I think there's a lot of dance music and there's like not that many kind of indie music in it. Um, but I just look up to a lot of them and just their whole commitment to the, like people who are doing music full time. Like I'm not doing that yet.
Mm.
And so I look up to that and just think, oh, I want to be like that. Or I see the way they're marketing their stuff and I think that's really cool. My mate Piri on stage, she has these like full on dance routines. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Like that's sick. I want to, yeah, just there's like little bits that kind of everyone's doing that I'm just like, that is really cool. And it's great to be around.
Yeah, it sounds like such a kind of just exciting movement that I kind of
Yeah.
can't really remember being the case in like in the UK specifically. I can look back at kind of the last 5 years or maybe even further back in history. And when you think of like musical collectives, you can kind of look at
Yeah.
ones that have kind of really built momentum. Like I look back to like the late '90s, early 2000s, like the Soulquarians, or
Yeah.
even like back in the US 5 years ago with the '88 Rising movement. But I was
Yeah.
wondering kind of how, considering you've been in since the beginning and you've seen it grow now, and some of the members, just like crack the charts in the top 20 and the top 10 even.
Yeah.
Like, how does it feel to be kind of part of it, and especially from basically the start of it?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just so nice because I mean, most of these people who like, yeah, they're killing it. Like they're doing so well. But they're just my mates as
Yeah,
well. So it's just really nice. Like it's just like, oh, go you. And yeah, the best things is just especially with the members who are just absolutely killing it, where like at the beginning I would see them a lot more often. And then now it's like I'll see them at like it's like kind of hard to catch them. And then I see them and we're like, oh my God, like I miss you so much. And just being like, mate, you're killing it. Like you're doing so well. And yeah, just like makes you feel proud, really. It's nice to see it. It's nice to have the representation and just feel like you've got a safe space, really. Yeah, I think.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. So I just want to ask one final question, which is a question I like to ask anyone I'm interviewing. So
Okay.
I just want to ask, what was your favorite album when you were 16, and what place does that album hold for you now?
Ooh, okay. Let me think back to 16. What year would I have been? 16. That's about
So it's year
year.
11, like finishing
Oof.
GCSEs.
Right, yeah, year 11. Rough year. I'd say probably my favorite album back then, it would have been by Tame Impala, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe it was In a Speaker. I think it
Oh.
was that one.
Is that
Yeah,
is
I
that the one
would
that's
like.
before Currents, or is that the one that's before that?
Um, I'm not sure. It might be before. I've got no idea.
I'm just trying to remember. I'm trying to remember Tame Impala's discography. There's Currents, then there's the one I don't know the name of, but it's like the picture of like the gate or like fence, and there's a thing behind it. It's got elephant and feels like we only go backwards on it.
Oh yeah, that was what's that called? Oh, I don't know what that one's called. Um, yeah, In a Speak. I'm not. I don't even remember which songs are on that one, but I know that was the album that I loved. Um, I didn't have Spotify at that time. I was using that just where you download random things on your phone, so I had that album downloaded. Um, yeah, that like I think I went through the phase like kind of recently where I'd feel embarrassed if I listened to Tame Impala because there's the whole like, Tame Impala's like one guy, like it's not a band.
Yeah.
um, and I was like, oh, I feel like embarrassed if I listen to them, but they're so sick. Then I saw them at Primavera Festival last year or the year before. And oh my God, like just hearing all those songs, just such a throwback. And like those songs did get me through like such a rough year. They they're good for zoning out too. So I think I was in another world, like getting me through that year. And hearing them all was just amazing. And it actually feels like a little treat every time they come up on like my shuffle. I'm like, ooh, like they're just the best vibes. Such good songs.
I mean, yeah, I'm a big fan of Temple as well. If it makes you feel any better, I actually only did find out it was one guy this year.
Ah, there
I
you
wasn't
go. There you
aware until then.
go.
Anyway, thank you so much for just coming along for an interview. It's been really nice to have a chat about all your music stuff. Been a pleasure to have
Yeah,
you
for
on.
sure.